Cassie back on the stand. Day 3 of the Diddy trial. A lot of explosive updates continue to hit the internet. With there being no cameras inside, we're going to keep, getting the summaries, getting the highlights. We're going to take a look at some of the videos coming out of the courthouse. We're going to keep this as detailed as possible. But if you saw yesterday's update, we had to go over an hour just for that. There was a lot going on, and I expect no different today. So let's get walking. As court starts, 9:52 a.m., Cassie walks into court without looking at Diddy. Once again, they said the same thing when she arrived for the first day that she was testifying. They never looked at each other. Well, I'm pretty sure he's staring at her, but she's never made eye contact with this man. Both Sean Combs and star prosecution witness Cassie Ventura are in the courtroom, and the jury also being brought in. For the second day in a row, Cassie, 38, walks into courtroom without looking towards her former partner at the defense table. She is wearing a light gray dress and jacket. Combs, 55, is wearing a gray sweater over a white shirt. Okay. Oh, we getting right into the hotel attack video, right? Okay, bet. Hotel attack video is shown in court with Combs dressed in socks and a towel. We're going to take a look at some of this footage as well. Prosecutor Emily Johnson resumes her questioning of singer and model Cassie, who was the key witness of the case against Sean Combs. The pair were an on and off relationship for about 10 years, from 2007 through 2008. Why did I say 2008? That's it. And yesterday, Cassie told the court he had subjected her to years of physical and psychological abuse through freak-offs with male escorts when Diddy would watch as she had sex with them. He would watch in the room as reports came out, as well as on FaceTime in the next room over. Yeah, we heard some bugged out stuff yesterday, but Miss Johnson asked her if there were ever times when she tried to fight back, and she says yes, mainly in the earliest stages of their relationship. Jurors are now being directed once again to the incident at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles in 2016. Footage of Combs running down the hotel hallway and then appearing to beat Cassie outside a lift wearing only socks, or elevator, wearing only socks with a towel around his waist, has been played in court. The video was first made public May 2024 by CNN. The footage shown in court. Now, I'm just going to play just a small clip of it, but there is additional footage. The full 15-minute video now, unedited. Remember, there was even disputes about that. Diddy's defense was going at the court saying, hey, we don't even think this video should come in because the original, or what was released to CNN and what the public is now watching, it's altered. It's sped up. It's slowed down. It's out of sequence. And, obviously the judge made a call on a ruling after that to allow the footage to come in. It was played yesterday in court. But we definitely can confirm from now seeing the whole 15-minute video, as well as some of the clip that we're about to watch right now. Yes, it was out of sequence. It was out of order. Let's watch some of this, and then y'all determine whether this changes anything for y'all. All right, so there's no audio on it. All right. Yes, we saw this. Comes stomping down, grabs her by the back of her hoodie, slams her, kicks her in the back. We saw this already, right? All right. Stomp after it picks up her stuff or his stuff. It looked like something fell on the floor right there to the right. I don't know. It starts to drag her back down the hall. And where he lets her go, grabs his towel. Now he's got either his stuff or her stuff still in his hand there. Now he's casually walking back down the hallway. I don't remember us seeing that piece of the footage. Now pause right there. There is more. So even this is edited again. There's footage in the full 15-minute joint that was released. I'll give you just a quick update on that because I watched it. I just didn't feel the need to really watch the full thing here. But she gets up, she walks to the corner of the hall now, by the elevator. I believe that she even tried to lift up the phone that was on the wall to make a phone call, right? Like the hotel phone, I believe. At this point, I believe he also has her cell phone in his hand. So you don't see some of that of her getting up and walking to the corner. And then eventually, yes, he comes back down the hall after putting her stuff or his stuff, whatever he picked up or took from her, putting that down, he comes back. All right, so let's continue. All right, so yeah, he comes back. She's in the corner. You have to look in the reflection. Damn. Walks down on her. See, that looked like he definitely lashed in at her, but that clip and also what I seen from the full 15 minutes looked like he was still trying to snatch something. So it didn't look like he hit on her again, but it looked like he snatched something. Is that when he grabbed the phone from her or something? All right, here's the part where he's sitting down, picks up the vase, throws it at her. The vase breaks. You see her still here in the corner, and he's casually moving around. He's looking at her. He's got something in his hand. Looks like it might be a cell phone. He just casually struts off. Gotta imagine he's saying something. It doesn't even look like he's yelling right there. That looks wild casual of him right there. Like, yeah, bitch, don't ever try that again. Like, whatever. Go ahead, go there, leave. Like, it looked like he's not even saying nothing too crazy right there because he doesn't look too animated there anymore. It's all speculation. There's no audio to it. So all we could do is draw on the actions that we see. In summary, the footage didn't do Diddy any favors. They fought to keep it out because it was the original one that everybody saw was edited. I think that's just a tactic to say, shit, I don't want this footage in court, period. And going at the fact that it was out of sequence and whatnot. But there's nothing in the full 15 minutes now that's been released that does any favors for him or hurts Cassie. There's no footage that came out that says, oh, you guys missed the part where Cassie punched him in the face first. None of that is going on. If you ask me, the footage just makes it worse. The full length joint that dropped. Why? Because you just see how sometimes he's being casual. Sometimes he's going back and forth. In the footage towards the end, you see when the hotel representative or the security guard comes upstairs. He's the one that's coming upstairs trying to sort things out a little bit, walks Diddy back down the hallway. He's standing in the hallway overlooking. They're going back and forth. Cassie then comes back down the hallway for a second. Looks like she gets some of her stuff and then she leaves again. So even the casual nature of some of the back and forth, it looks like it got calmed down, but that doesn't help. The damage is already done. The slamming, the stomping, the kicking, the throwing of the vase. Yeah, CNN wanted the highlights out, but the rest of it it's still ugly to watch. Okay. All right. Cassie said yesterday that she was trying to leave the freak off when Combs caught up with her. Now she tells the court that during the incident, he threw a vase. I just remember it coming towards me, she says. It hit the wall. So they're saying that it didn't hit her. Okay. She says Combs was yelling at her, but she doesn't remember his exact words. This was the apology video that he put up. I don't believe that they played this in the courtroom. They should have, right? Well, then again, maybe they shouldn't have. Maybe the defense will. You never know. But yeah, they got it here. All right, moving on. Diddy lied to Cassie that he'd been arrested after hotel assault, court told. Okay. Jurors are shown text messages exchanged between Combs and Cassie on March 5th, 2016, after the alleged attack at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. The court also sees a photo of Miss Ventura wearing dark glasses and a hoodie. That is me with a fat lip, she says. The lawyer asks why she is wearing sunglasses, and she tells the court she had a black eye. Yesterday, she told the court that Combs hit her during the freak off at the hotel. In the text exchange detailed in the court, Combs tells Cassie to call me now, and then again asks her to call, saying the cops are here. Okay. Ms. Johnson asks what Cassie Ventura's reaction was to this. She says she wanted to be alone and didn't care at the time. Combs told her he was getting arrested, but this wasn't true. The court hears. Police did go to her apartment, and Cassie says she answered a few questions, but did not say who she was talking about, as she didn't want to hurt Combs. She says there was too much going on. It was a lot. Asked if she wanted to protect him, she replies, yes, of course. Jurors hear that Combs went to her apartment later on. Cassie says there was chaos outside the door, kicking, yelling, and banging. Okay. All right. So the text messages is proven to be, maybe he was just texting her that, thinking that if I tell her the cops is here or whatever, she's going to come back. If I tell her I might get arrested, she might hold me down. She might respond. You never know if at this point he's calming down. He's realized, shit, I just slammed this girl, stomped her, kicked her. She ran off. I don't know where she's at. I don't know if she's telling somebody. I don't know if she's calling the cops. Either way, the cops eventually did make their way to her house, and it's presented here from yesterday's testimony that she held him down. Right? She didn't do too much. So that's why it would seem from a criminal standpoint, that incident never went anywhere. All right. All right, let's continue. Court showing pictures of 13 escorts who took part in freak offs. Damn, you showing the actual people. Yesterday, Cassie told the court she had a film premiere coming up around the time of the hotel incident, which happened on March 5th. A photo of her and Combs from the premiere is now shown in court. She says she has a lot of makeup and covering bruises on her face. She says she thought at the time that the rapper was sick, to think that it was okay to do that to her and wanted him to stay away. This photo below is the one that comes up on news agencies, but it's not clear exactly what picture was shown to jurors. So this would be the picture that they're saying, or at least a moment from the day after when she had the movie premiere and she's allegedly wearing makeup, maybe on her face from the black eye and on her legs to cover up bruises. But let's take a moment to think about this picture, people. There's nothing there's nothing good with what Diddy did. It's a disgusting act to do that to a woman, right? But to see a picture like this the next day with him with this cheese smile, all suited and booted, nice crispy suit, her all glammed up, looking beautiful. You know the Cassies of the world. Either if she's taking care of herself, cool. You know, she probably spent 2 hours in the bathroom, you know what I'm saying, or in the glam mirror doing her thing or whatever. But I just feel like even at this level, you have stylists and whatnot. You probably have people or handlers doing your makeup for you. Just to think, like, even to get yourself together to come to this movie premiere the next day, right? She's smiling, he's cheesing, her arm seems to be around his back. And if this is the day after that hotel video, what does that allude to? The toxicity and the common nature of them abusing each other, or at least him abusing her. Because if that's the first time that shit happened, no woman, you would still be traumatized. I understand she was probably traumatized in the moment. She probably had to get away. The cop showed up at her crib and all that. But if you're able to then come back into this man's presence the next day, get glammed up, go to this movie premiere, and then have moments like this where it's arms and hugging and smiling and beautiful boyfriend, look at us showing the world. How does that not tell me that this is what y'all into? This is what y'all okay with. And it also shows almost a form of acceptance. It does. It shows a fucking form of acceptance. You can't do this if I'm Cassie. If you do this to me and I show up the next day and I'm arm around you and smiling and we doing red carpet and all that, that's damn near co-sign to the man. This would be the woman that her girls is telling them, you made that call, you told your girl, yo, he just beat the shit out of me at the hotel, but I'm home back now, it's all good. And your girl's like, what, girl? Fuck him. You know what? I'm calling the cops and pizza. He did what to you? You got a black eye right now? You know, I told you, girl, stay away from him. And the next day, they look on social media or they look on whatever, if this is airing on and they see you on a red carpet with them, they're like, what? You know what? I'm leaving Blueface and Krishan Rock alone. Y'all, that's y'all shit. Y'all do what y'all do. I'm just saying. It doesn't justify the fucking actions, but you are gonna get cross, Cassie, of you was in an entitled position. You wanted to be there. This was both y'all. Y'all both accepted it, and you took all the good with the bad. They're gonna paint that picture. It's on the way. I mean, come on. The court is then shown photographs of 13 escorts who took part in the freak offs that have been described throughout the trial. Cassie told the court yesterday that these sex sessions with male escorts could last for hours, with the longest going on for 4 days, and Combs liked to direct them as he watched them masturbating. Ash, Tommy, Jake, Greg, and Jonathan are among the names of the escorts being shown to the court, jurors are told, but Cassie does not remember all of them. Damn. Well, that's good for her to say because she's already testified that she's drugged up almost during all of the freak offs, right? And she's saying that I'm taking all these drugs because I don't really want to do this stuff and I needed to find a way to escape it mentally during all these acts. Another reason why you gotta present all that type of stuff and being high is because you got to be careful not to trip over your current or your closed out civil suit where you won, they're saying now $20 million. I believe that it was revealed when Diddy paid you $20 million, or any criminal type of stuff that could come out of this, right? Like, I believe in her first day of testimony, didn't she say she was high when they asked her about guns? And she said, yeah, there was times where he gave me guns and I carried them in my purse. And, all right, so what was your state? I was high, right? You never know. Somebody would turn around and be like, "What you doing carrying guns, Cassie?" Like, I think that would be petty as shit. But I'm just saying, like, her and her lawyers they probably did weeks of prep leading up to her taking the stand. Weeks of prep, sitting down, understanding the type of questions that she's going to be asked from prosecution, as well as what she may be asked from the defense side on cross-examination. And you see now, Diddy's even filing motions to limit how much she can confer, with her attorneys or other witnesses between her testimony. So she should have gone through hours and hours and hours of prep. But yeah, she got to be real careful not to get herself jammed up in any of her situations, civilly or criminally. All right. Um, Combs blackmailed me with freak off sex videos. I think she had to say that too, because that's going to paint the picture of why I continue to do these things. I was trapped. It wasn't just physical threats. It wasn't just mental threats. It was also career threats. It was also reputational threats. All this stuff hovering over my head. So you gotta say this as well. The court is hearing about more text exchange between Diddy and Cassie, this time from January 2016. I want to have a successful FO, freak off. Oh, so they themselves was calling it a freak off. I forgot the we've been saying freak off on the internet so long. I forgot if that was an internet made term or if Diddy was actually saying freak off. So they're saying the text message said, I want to have a successful FO, freak off. Okay. Read one message from Combs, the court hears, and included the letter K. Okay, who's K or what's K? Prosecutor Emily Johnson asks what K is. Cassie says it is, ketamine, drugs, which was her preferred drug as it was most disassociative. Discussion then moves on to the night celebrating her birthday. After dinner, Cassie says she was going with friends to a club, but Combs said he wanted to have a freak off. She says she told him she didn't want to at that time. She went with her friends. However, she says, Combs pulled me out so many times I gave up. Ms. Johnson also asked about blackmail materials and the times that Combs mentioned them. Sex videos, things that made me look great, not great, made me look not great. Cassie says Combs would remind her of them if he was angry or upset about something. She says it was a common thing. She tells the courts she was worried it would damage her career and hurt her family. It is embarrassing. It is horrible. It is disgusting. No one should do that to anyone, she says. It could ruin everything I worked for, make me look like a slut. I wasn't supposed to be on those videos. I didn't want to be in them. Respect it. I mean, I gotta respect it. I'll take that as face value. It's going to be a hard sell for many people already that she didn't enjoy any of these freak offs or any of these sex sessions over all of these years. You see people like Boosie lashing out like, get the fuck out of here. She's consenting. And if those videos start getting played in court of her in the mix and looking like, she came there, or look how excited she is, or look how much she's moaning passionately. Yeah, she's gonna look like, are you kidding me? You're trying to tell me that you didn't enjoy none of this? But that's where they're gonna come back, or they're already a building saying, I'm using all of these drugs to chase it, right? So I'm just not really there. Yeah, you might see me say more, keep going, deeper, deeper, or you might see me climax and all that, but I was high. I'm telling you right now, the more and more sex stuff that this day is targeted on, the more and more people's going to be like, what are we doing here for Rico? A Rico. I mean, there's still a lot to come. This is Cassie. This is your star witness. And I guess she's testifying to him being abusive and controlling and all this type of stuff and drug. But I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And if that video is ever put out, yeah. Of course, that could ruin you forever. He's holding that over her head. But it's shit, it could ruin him too. Why do you think that when she finally did sue his ass, he gave up that $20 million in a heartbeat? Shit, you got to think about it too. You ruin you, you ruin me, you ruining you too, nigga. Now she don't care about the shit coming out. She already got that 20, at 20 piece. Let me not say that. Respectfully, I take that back. Cassie tells court she suffered stomach problems and UTIs after free calls. UTIs, urinary tract infections, right? Okay. Prosecutor Emily Johnson asked Cassie Ventura about recovery after freak off sex sessions and the impact they had. Cassie tells the court that she and Combs would have massages and take care of ourselves afterwards. Damn. So the recoup was serious. Massages and allegedly IVs and a gallon of water and all. It's like the freak goes for war. Like, I don't want no fucking sex session that I gotta recoup from. You know what I'm saying? If I'm recouping from a sex session, it gotta be like from an energy standpoint or some shit. Like, oh, I want a nap, like something like that. But if I feel abused, like what kind of fucking sex? That's not pleasure to me. If I gotta like, damn, I gotta ice my shoulder. I gotta get a deep tissue massage. I gotta get an IV and replenish all my fluids and shit. I don't There's no way that was pleasurable then. It makes sense that these fucking sessions have their own word or a term, a freak off, because you gotta find a way to categorize this type of shit. This shit is different as fuck. Oh man. All right. She said she would take pills to come down and that she wanted to feel numb. Miss Johnson then asks if she experienced any medical issues, and Cassie tells her she suffered stomach problems and gastro issues, as well as a urinary tract infections. All right. When we were having frequent freak offs, they were back to back, she says, adding that sometimes she would take part in the freak off when she already had a UTI. Yeah, that's disgusting. It was really painful for a long time, she tells the court. I can't believe I actually dealt with that. Having sex with a UTI was horrible, so uncomfortable. Cassie says she also suffered sores in her mouth. Ugh. After a freak off, she says she would feel so tired, achy, dehydrated, and that she felt emotionally empty and gross, like I did a job. I mean, sores in your mouth and sex while you're in the midst of UTIs and STDs allegedly going around and whatnot. Remember, people, I'm going to do it separately after the full Cassie testimony breakdown. I'm going to go to her husband separate right after. Her husband sitting in the courtroom hearing this shit. He's kissing on her. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she got some medication and cleared up some stuff, hopefully. You know what I mean? Did he continue to kiss her after this? It's like, it's a reminder, people. I don't care how pretty she is in the face. Y'all strap up. Be careful who you kiss. Be careful who you exchange fluids with. Careful who you suck off. Who you go down on. Yo, we see the Cassie showing up on red carpet, all glammed up and beautiful and all that. And behind the scenes, urinary tract infections, alleged STDs, sores in her mouth, getting pissed in her mouth, choking from pit. Like behind it, you just never know with people, man. You never know, man. You gotta be careful who you kiss. Like, it's wild, man. And some of y'all got kids. Some of y'all got kids at the time. Y'all leave these freak offs and then kiss your kids with the same lips. You know how they be saying that saying, like, do you kiss your mamas with that? You kiss your mother with that same mouth? You know how they got that saying? Right? As if you got a dirty mouth. But we talk about literally can infect your kids. Literally. Literally. Shit disgusting. Imagine you having some sex worker piss in your mouth and you getting sores in your mouth and all that, and then you go kiss your son and your daughter the day after or whatever, and walking around normally in the crib. Oh, have a nice day. Ew. You pass shit along. Pass shit along. Shit is wild. Shit is crazy, man. All that is being thrown to the wind for the sake of these freak offs. All right. All right. Cassie says she suffered sores in her mouth. Yeah. All right. Swapping partners turned Diddy on, jury told. Questioning in court turns to sex clubs, with Cassie saying she visited a few with Diddy during the 11-year relationship in New York, Las Vegas, and Los Angeles. She says these visits were his idea and that she was vocal about not wanting to go. I'm gonna put that short clip up today. The no means no rant that I went on yesterday. All right. Sometimes he would try to turn the energy around, she says, and become playful and funny and not scary. But other times he would push and try to convince me. Prosecutor Emily Johnson asked her about a swinger lifestyle. And Cassie says Combs told her they could swap partners, which was a turn on for him. During visits to sex clubs, Cassie says she drank a lot because she did not want to be sober. If I'm the defense, the whole getting drugged up and taking pills and getting high and all this type of stuff prior to freak offs on your way up or on your way down, as she testified. Uh, Here's just another comment thing. I'm trying to be devil's advocate. I think that Diddy is a piece of shit, but I'm still being devil's advocate to be on the legal side, right? Because that's what we're doing here. When I do the legal side of things, I don't want to interject my personal opinions as it would pertain to whether I feel that a statement, an accusation, or a charge is justified. I need to separate. That's my responsibility to y'all. I need to be able to separate that. I need to be able to tell y'all I think Diddy's a piece of shit. But then on the other side, I need to be able to tell y'all like, oh, that right there, that don't make no sense, y'all. Nah, I think she's wrong there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gotta do that. I gotta separate it for y'all. And the drug thing, to me, it's no different than how many millions of people in this world that do the same. See, the thing about sex and what you would see people embarking on in their swinger lifestyles and orgies and sex clubs or whatever. It's even for regular parties, even for most of y'all fucking birthdays. Drugs and alcohol is like not even a cousin, a brother to sex and partying. They go hand in hand. If you walk into some of these convenience stores right now, they sell sex. You got the honey. They got the plastic cup like a sex kit. You just buy it over the counter. It's nothing. It got a little joint, a henny in it. It got a little honey pack in it. It got maybe a little Red Bull shot in it. What are we talking about? What are we? You know how many times I had drunk sex? You know what I'm saying? Like alcohol and I don't know about drugs. I mean, I know that it does. I don't do drugs, but alcohol, even in my lifetime, is hand in hand with partying. I can't tell you the last time I went to a party and didn't drink. I can't tell you. You know what I'm saying? Where the waitress at? All right, our order goes in, and then they bring it back to our table, our section, and we sharing and we having a good. That's the night. If you go home and if you with somebody, you probably still drunk. To drive safe, people, or take a Uber home and have drunk sex. Like all of that is they go hand in hand. Like if I'm the defense, I'm jumping out there and saying, "Who the fuck jury?" Just remember, yeah, they painted a dirty picture, but just remember, who the fuck doesn't get high or get drunk in the midst of their personal sexual romances and whatnot? Everybody does, right? So I gotta rationalize some of this shit, but ah. Yesterday, she told the court how she left one of these sessions at the Intercontinental Hotel in March, but the rapper caught up with her in the hallway and hit her. All right, so yeah, that's the tape. Cassie tells jurors now there were other occasions when she tried to leave if she felt scared or uncomfortable. Asked if she was ever injured during a freak off, she says Sean would put his hands on me, he would grab me, he would push me down. That doesn't really answer if he was injured, does it? Um, Combs would hit. Oh, there you go. Combs would hit and kick her. She says sometimes even when escorts were nearby. Asked if the escorts would have been aware. She says yes, that they could hear, and would ask her if she was okay. When asked by prosecutors how often Combs would injure her during a freak offs, she replies, too often. This piece up here, one thing that I take from that real quick is she's testifying that nobody in a freak off actually saw it, only heard it. Because if she would testify that somebody in a freak off saw it, I would love if I was the defense, if allegedly that was true or not true, prosecution or whatever, I would want that person on the stand, right? Did you see Diddy kick her or punch her in the midst of a freak off? Right. But she's saying that, nah, they only heard. So all this separate room stuff and unconventional stuff, and after 11 years, nobody saw it. That's something Brian still should be writing in his notes to attack. I'm gonna be real. All right. Combs sent me to Beverly Hills plastic surgeon after an attack. Jurors are hearing about a text exchange between Cassie and Combs in 2013. The former couple were together off and on for about 11 years. Cassie explains the messages were about an alleged incident with Combs. She says she was asleep and he was trying to attack her and that her friends were trying to stop him. Combs threw her on the bed frame, she says, and she suffered a significant gash to her eyebrow. Rather than going to the hospital, she says, Combs organized for security staff to take her to the plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills. Cassie says she sent him an image of the injury. I wanted him to be sorry about it, she says. That's not going to look good. If she's got a scar up there still, but then again, plastic surgery, sometimes could even smooth out scars. But if there's any remnants of that, text messages, pictures of that's a bad look. That's a bad look. But that shows to me once again what we were saying earlier. That hotel allegedly is far from the first time that fucking happened, which is why they can go to the movie premiere the next day and smile together. They used to this shit. This is what they do. This is what they do. Diddy watch freak off videos on commercial flight. Cassie tells court before break. The court in Manhattan is now hearing about the incident in the French resort of the Canes in 2013. Cassie says she and Combs had an argument that he accused her of taking drugs from him and kicked her off the boat they were on. On a commercial flight back to the U.S., she says, he pulled up freak off videos on his laptop that she thought he had been deleted. He was showing them with other people around, Cassie tells the court. I said, you are embarrassing me. I was scared. I felt trapped. How do you get out of this situation? I felt trapped. They had another freak off within a few hours of landing, Cassie adds, so he wouldn't be angry or hurt me. They traveling the world, acting a fool, man. Damn. Allegedly. So this says. After this evidence, the court breaks for lunch. The hearing is back in session. 6:15 UK time. Okay, Combs apparently told hotel staff, I don't want to lose anything and I can lose it all. While we wait for today's court session to resume, we can bring you some information from an exhibit that has been entered into evidence. This is an email sent by LAPD officer Israel Flores, who previously worked as a security officer at the Intercontinental Hotel. He was the first to witness to give evidence to the trial, telling the court on Monday how he was on duty March 5th, the day the alleged physical attack on Cassie happened by Combs. Footage of the rapper running down a hotel hallway and then appearing to be Cassie outside a lift, wearing only socks with a towel around his waist, has been playing in court. Now we have details of an email Ms. Flores sent about the incident. It includes pictures of what looks like a smashed vase. Okay. And here's the picture here that was just entered into evidence. Cassie testified that it didn't hit her, but yeah, this don't look like the coolest scene, right? And the Diddy, so you bought the footage. You should have jumped in homie's phone too if you was gonna pay him some bread. Right? He's got some shit that ended up in your damn trial too. All right. Looking at security cameras, he says he could see a male black wearing. So this is a testimony once again from the guy that came and responded to them two up in the hallway that day in the hotel. All right. Cassie texted Combs, you treat me like Ike Turner. Oh, they referenced it. They referenced the Ike and Tina. Court should be back in session. Just before the break, prosecutors presented a text exchange in which Cassie describes how badly Diddy allegedly abused her. You treat me like Ike Turner, she wrote, referencing the volatile marriage the late musician was known to have had with his ex-wife, the late Tina Turner. In court, Cassie described Combs as abusive and controlling. Yeah, you don't want to be trying to paint the picture successfully of Ike. We all have our judgments already decided history-wise on who Ike is and what Ike was, right? Diddy, you want to be labeled for the rest of your legacy as the new Ike? The new era Ike? Damn, dog. Court sketches showing Diddy in a towel as Cassie testifies. All right, so there's still a break here. I see a lot of people joking about he came out with socks. Let me tell you one thing, man. Even a hotel room, I don't like walking around barefoot. It's not your private own. I know what comes in and out space. People wear sneakers in there, shoes in there. I don't allow no footwear in my crib. No sneakers can be worn in my crib. You come to my house, take your sneakers off at the door. You know what I'm saying? People walk through all types of shit outside. And if I'm running into the hallway, I'm putting my socks on real quick. I'm not even walking around my room without socks. Like I said, that's nasty to me. Some people, even when they go to resorts or hotels, they even wear shower slippers. Of course, they're supposed to clean it, and this is a 5-star hotel, and they're supposed to bleach it, and it smells good, it looks clean, but it's just every day there's somebody else living there, literally. So your feet in the shower or walking around the room barefoot and all that, even though you partying and drunk, having a great time, you fuck around, catch something on your feet too. You know what I'm saying? Catch a fungus or some shit, some nasty shit. Somebody has some nasty foot fungus, and you catch that when you got into the shower. That day, the shower wasn't scrubbed and bleached. You know what I'm saying? So I see all the jokes about his fucking socks on. I'd have them bitches on too. All right. Sexually explicit pictures shown in court. Combs peers over to get a better look. What's that? What they showing? Do I know about that? Let me see that. The hearing resumes after the lunch, and all the monitors in the courtroom have been covered with privacy screens. Prosecutor Emily Johnson has handed out binders to the judge and to the defense containing still images taken from videos of the freak-offs, sex sessions, and have been mentioned throughout the trial. As one of his lawyers opens the binder, Combs leans over to see for himself and gets up from his chair slightly to get a better look. So they haven't seen this yet, it appears, and they're handing it out. So that's one thing that is going to benefit the prosecution, no? So when Diddy gets his house raided, or house is raided, if they've confiscated laptops and USB drives and pictures and videos and camcorders and cell phones and whatnot and crack the safes open, they're able to present what they choose to present, right? Maybe he got some video in there of Cassie doing something wild. Like, why would the prosecution bring that? Even right here, they're saying still shots from the videos. So when you take a still shot from a video, you're going to pause it and take a shot of what you think is beneficial to you, or the part that you like, or the picture that you want to come out of that shit, right? So he's got to have, I hope, evidence from his side, cell phones or something that the prosecution is going to be able to bring to the table. No, because then the only videos and the only pictures that's going to go through that court are going to be from the prosecution side that would hurt him. Right? No? What am I missing? All right. So they're passing that around. Courtroom falls silent as freak-off images are shown. One image shows Mia, a pseudonym for another woman who has accused Diddy of abuse. Uh-oh. Another person coming in. An escort is featured in 2 images. The court here is including one with Cassie, which is a still from a longer video. Cassie is also pictured with other men at freak-offs and says, of one image, there is baby oil on me, and I'm standing there during a freak-off with a candle and lubricant on the table. Once again, her husband is there seeing all of this and hearing all this. This is insane for him too. Each juror has their own screen. Damn. They got a joint right in front of them. What to see everything that's going on, the video that we play in, the pictures that's going on. They got their own personalized tablet. Damn, they get to see everything right there in front of them in pure HD. Shit. All right. Each juror has their own screen, and the room becomes silent as the images are shown. The jury appearing wrapped. What is that? I guess that means like or quiet. The juror raises his one juror raises his eyebrows. Another man takes notes on a notepad. A woman nods affirmatively. Oh, yeah. So the juror's interpretation of whatever they're looking at on that screen is like, mm-hmm. And one raising your eyebrows, that's like a surprise look, right? Like, that's crazy. All right. I was aware of Combs' capabilities, access to guns, and threats he made, says Cassie. Cassie Ventura is continuing her evidence, telling the court about incidents of alleged violence by Sean Combs. The former couple were together off and on. Again, we know that. She is asked about an alleged incident in a car after dinner at a restaurant in 2007. So very early in their relationship. He hit me on the side of my head and I fell to the floor of the Escalade, she told jurors. I was shocked. I didn't understand what happened and why he was so angry. Cassie also tells the court she was aware of Combs' capabilities, his access to guns, and the threats that he made. The court hears about another incident in Los Angeles when she says she was called about a party at Prince's house, or they was hanging out with Prince that night, huh? She says she did not tell Combs he would not have approved, but he showed up. She says she caught a glimpse of him and ran outside and ran out as fast as I could because I thought he was angry. Combs after me, the court hears. Wow. Cassie says her memory of the incident is a little fuzzy, but she remembers running and falling into bushes and then getting back to her hotel in Beverly Hills. Combs burst into the room, she says, and they had a fight. He beat me up, she alleges, and threw luggage at me. She tells the court she suffered bruising on her face. It's just a lot to sit around through. When I say sit around, I mean that respectfully. Maybe it's better for me to say stay around through. It's a lot. A lot of alleged beatings, slap, punch, throw stuff at you, hit you with luggage, throw a vase at you, allegedly are you. The freak offs that you say you don't want to be involved in, peed on, pissed in your mouth, and the STDs and UTIs. It's just a lot to hang around through, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. What would make a woman stay? Here's what the defense needs to also paint a picture for. If any other man slaps you in that Escalade, what would you do? If any other man asks you to let a male escort piss in your mouth, what you gonna do? Just a regular Joe Schmo that works at the car wash. What's gonna happen when he throws his luggage at you and you're so scared of him that when he pops up at a party that you at, you gotta run and fall in the bushes and all of that and make your way back to the hotel? They're gonna paint the picture once again, like so if all of this is going on across 10 or 11 years, why are you there? The cross is going to be mean as shit. They're going to have to disregard her pregnancy. But the cross is going to be mean as shit. All right. Cassie emailed her mom and Diddy employed to tell them about alleged threats. Courts here. All right. The court is told about an email Cassie wrote to her mother and another woman who worked with Sean Combs. It said the rapper had threatened to release two compromising tapes of her and also that he could organize for someone to hurt her. She is also asked in court about photos taken by her mother during a visit to see her at home in Connecticut. One shows bruises on her lower back area and right thigh, the court hears. Cassie tells the court she thinks this was the first time she spoke to her mom about it. Why do I keep putting mom? I didn't tell her about the freak off, she says, getting emotional. It's not normal. What is this right here? Is this supposed to be a still or a picture being shown? A sketch with the bruise right here that's looking like on her upper thigh or side of her ass a little bit. Mm. Combs watches as the jury is shown images of what Cassie described as bruises from the rapper. So they're not seeing it. It's being described. Okay. They're not seeing a picture of it. Okay. All right. Diddy threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car. Cassie tells the court, let's get into Kid Cudi. Let's do it. Okay. Here we go. Cassie tells the court about a relationship she had with Scott Masudi, a singer and a rapper better known as Kid Cudi. This is the first time their relationship has come up during the trial. Cassie and Sean Combs were off and on in an off and on relationship for about 11 years. We know that. Why do you keep putting that? In her civil lawsuit against Combs in November 2023, which the rapper settled the day after it was filed, Cassie said in 2011, during a rough patch in her relationship with the hip hop mogul, she had a brief relationship with the musician Kid Cudi. She tells the court now that she broke it off as there was too much uncertainty if we continued. She says it was dangerous, that Combs allegedly said he was going to hurt both of them. She tells the court that Combs threatened to blow up Kid Cudi's car. According to Cassie's lawsuit, Kid Cudi's car exploded in his driveway around this time. Okay. Cassie begins testifying about the alleged R. So hold on. Let's go. Let's just stay there for a second. That's one of the things he's got to fight, arson, right? It's wrapped up in his indictment under this whole big sole person RICO. Is that the only evidence that's going to come in regards to any harassment or breaking of toward or arson towards this Kid Cudi situation? That was what it was put in her lawsuit. I mean, I'm not trying to say that don't hold any weight. It does. The jury is still hearing this shit. Pictures are still being painted to the jurors. But is there any other evidence of that? I'm just playing both sides because as we read this, things will always sound bad because we're going through the prosecution side. This is going to be a bad read. It's going to be like, ew, nasty. You got an uphill battle. But I'm really just trying to already predict what some of the defense is going to do because you have to poke holes in all of this. So when you put this in the lawsuit, was you there when that's like the defense will do that shit? Was you there when the car blew up? Do we have proof that the car blew up? Do we have any proof that if a car did actually blow up, that it had anything to do with Diddy? Or are you just trying to say that you happened to be dating this man, and while you guys were dating, his car blew up, or his car caught fire, or you know what I'm saying? Like that's what the defense is going to do. I'm looking for more evidence, hardcore evidence, because it's not about what I believe. Remember, you know how they say it's not what you know, it's what you could prove. You ever hear that saying? In the courts, that's what it comes down to. You could walk in there guilty as shit and get an innocent verdict, and vice versa. Happens every day, B. So that's all I'm doing. I'm just trying to separate what I really, really think about Diddy. And I'm just like, they're gonna shred that. That's all you got? All right. The lawsuit statement. If that's all you got, that's why the government and the feds charged him with arson because she sued him saying that I was dating Kid Cudi and his car blew up. All right. Cassie begins testifying about an alleged R. Cassie is now giving evidence of an alleged R in 2018. Her husband, Alex Fine, has been in court to support her throughout her testimony. But earlier, Judge Arun ruled he should leave for his part. Yeah, because there's a conflict if he's going to testify, right? This was after the request by Sean Combs' defense lawyers who said they may call Mr. Fine as a witness later in the trial. Yeah, so he's not just sitting there. He can't just sit there as just like a general viewer, like the press or something like that. If he's going to be called as a witness, there's some of this testimony due to the actual legal process that he's not supposed to be privy to. Okay. Prosecutors and if the defense is going to call him, they got something. Or they have an angle. Why else would you want to call to the stand somebody that you know is going to be 100% on Cassie's side? If you're going to call somebody that is currently with her, the father of she's bearing his child right now, you got an angle to play versus him. Prosecutors had argued that Mr. Fine is part of the emotional support system for Cassie, who is heavily pregnant with their third child. Yeah, duh. But they agreed this morning again that he would leave the room before they spoke about the alleged R. Hmm. Shit, probably wouldn't want to be in there regardless, right? Unless it's just like, yo, I need to hear this and get over it and get through it. I remember crying and saying no, Cassie tells the court. Prosecutor Emily Johnson asked Miss Ventura how her relationship with Sean came to an end. Okay, Cassie tells the court that by the end, she had spent several years hearing about a woman Combs was dating, and I was out. People, that's annoying to read. Did she really just testify and say that shit, people? Anybody know where I'm going with that? You see what I got highlighted up on the screen? Read it again. Miss Ventura tells the court that by the end, she had spent several years hearing about a woman Combs was dating, and I was out. Her words, quote, and I was out. So it wasn't the freak offs that she didn't want to do. It wasn't being allegedly forced to have niggas piss in your mouth and getting urinary tract infections and getting punched in your head to the point where you fall on the floor in the Escalade, or you go to Prince's party and he pulls up to the point you got to skate out of there, you fall into the bushes and all the type of stuff. The beatings, as per your testimony, were too frequent. Quotes, too frequent. All of this going on. Beatings, bruises on the red carpet, getting covered in makeup, emails, threats of videos being held over your head. You're trying to tell your mother what's going on, but you can't really tell her everything. You got all this wild shit going on for 10, 11 years. Drugs, uppers, downers, and pain, massages after to soothe the pain and try to rebound from the freak off. But when you hear about another woman, that's when you're officially, I was out. They're going to kill this shit, B. Once again, I believe Diddy is a piece of shit. I'm separating my personal feelings towards either one of them, and I'm trying to look at this just from as if I was a juror, from a legal aspect. Who doesn't see that on cross they're going to shred shit like that? Why wouldn't you? It was another woman you're testifying that made you finally say, you know what? Enough is enough. That's what enough is about. Nigga. Was you there of mind and body when you say that you got hit that time and you fell and you hit your head or your eye and it opened up a big gash on your head and he had to send you to a plastic surgeon to fix up? Was you there for that? But another woman is what? Yo. That's wild to read, Cassie. That's not good. It's not good to read, dog. They met in 2018 to have and people, don't ever take out, especially if this ends up just as a clip. Don't ever fucking take out of context what I hone in on for what I think are big standouts, okay? This is not to like try to gloss over that all the shit that we've read about Diddy's actions wasn't worse than this. It's all disgusting behavior, all right? But I'm trying to separate and do the damn, what am I predicting that the defense is going to do here? Because right now we're already in the midst of the prosecution having their turn with the star witness. All right. Don't fucking take me out of context, people. Please. She alleges Combs took her home and awed her on the floor of their living room. I remember crying and saying no, Cassie says. She tells the courts, Combs' eyes were black and he wasn't himself. I don't know if I would have told him that if I wanted to see the end of him. I would have just said, "Nah, this is regular him. He wasn't black. He wasn't high. He wasn't nothing. This is what he wanted to do with me." But she's testifying he wasn't himself. Earlier on, the court was showing a closer picture of Cassie with a black eye from a different alleged incident. When asked who caused it, she responded, "Sean." Combs prevented his family from seeing her after she had sustained any injuries, she said. He told me to make sure his son couldn't see me like that. The bruises on my face, the court heard. So allegedly, Diddy's going through a lot of hoops to just maintain his image. I don't want my kids to see this shit that I'm beating on a woman, which is shit. If you're going to be doing this to a woman, allegedly, at least fucking shield the kids. Thank God. And don't let them grow up feeling like this shit is fine. Hey, dad, I just seen Cassie walking down the hall with a black eye. She all right? Oh, yeah, you don't have to punch her in the face last night. Thank God you're trying to not, you know what I'm saying, shield them from at least knowing what type of shit is going on. But think about being the kids in court. A lot of shit you might be hearing for the first time as well, whether it's true or not. You still got to realize that this is your father and this is his legacy. This is your legacy, the Combs. You know, as it's tough for a kid to have to hear and see some of this stuff too. Shit, I'm over here talking about the topic we're going to do on Cassie's husband. Diddy's kids is in the court, B. Mm-mm-mm. Think about it from that angle, people, before I get back. Think about trying to never put yourself in a position to do things where your children would have to see you in this type of light. Damn. Combs prevented the family. Yes, from seeing her. Okay. He told me make sure his son couldn't see. Okay. Oh, Cassie breaks down in tears as she describes shame and trauma. Continuing her evidence, Cassie tells the court that after Combs' alleged R, the two of them did have sex one more occasion after this, but this time with her consent. You just don't turn off feelings that way, she says. I still had a good vision of who he was. How? How do you still have a good vision of who he was? Are you trying to say that you think that it's a different person underneath all of this? What? You ever hear the saying when somebody shows you who they are, believe them? The fuck? The court here, she later went to rehab and had trauma therapy. Cassie says she was having flashbacks and did not want to lie anymore. She also tells the court she wanted Combs to understand what she had been through, to recognize the things he put me through. And a sketch of her on the stand crying during this moment. Okay. More than anything, it was personal shame about the freak off sex sessions. She says, I took a lot of responsibility for that I never should have. The court here, she took part in hundreds of sex sessions. Cassie breaks down in tears as she tells the court she was 22 when these sessions started, and I would do anything for Combs. The court hears about Cassie's civil lawsuit, which she filed in November 2023. It was settled within 24 hours and she received $20 million. There you have it. The number finally came out. $20 million. So when we hear of Shannon Sharp, from the reports of him offering 10 million during behind the scenes negotiation and mediation to that little girl, right? With $100 million deal that was allegedly on the table, 10 million to save 100 million. Some people's going to say, yeah, that makes sense. In Cassie's case, I mean, not Cassie's case, Diddy's case, 20 million. He's got more than 100 million that's being protected. He's a billionaire, right? He's got a lot of stuff going on. His image, his reputation, his brand is tied to a lot for himself and also a lot of other people. That is just one of those mega L's you got to take. If all of this is going on between your relationship with Cassie and she comes out with this lawsuit, people say he should have never settled. So legally, tactically, it seemed to open the floodgates, yes. But he still should have done any type of way to prevent her allegations from coming out. So if that was going to be 20 million one day, regardless whether they get into litigation for a little bit and go back and forth, as long as those details doesn't come out for Diddy with his stature and the amount of money and business that he is protecting, $20 million is probably justified. It is. He was just going to have to eat that and shit. Let me go into the accounts and liquidate this, whatever, come up with this $20 million. Here, Cassie, you got it. From what happened between us for 10, 11 years, yeah, that's gonna run me a good 20 million if I need this to go away. Here you go. Yeah, $20 million makes sense. Allegedly. Finally, she asked by prosecutor Emily Johnson why she is testifying against him now and putting herself through what has been a difficult process. I can't carry this anymore. The shame, the guilt, Cassie says. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. People aren't disposable. You could say that's her coming to terms with it now. You could say that she's 38 years old now. She's older. She's learned a lot. She understands herself more. She understands life more. She has a new situation. She won $20 million. Now let me stop. Eh, People are always going to be split down the middle on that. The classic question, why now? Shout out to Hot Sauce, the M1 basketball player. I didn't report on it, but I saw that go across headlines. It's like some 20-year ago sexual assault charge that some woman just filed on him or something, or lawsuit. It's like 20 years ago or something. It's just like, and to think that could happen to any of us. The classic question, why now? Me personally, I always like the answer to that. 5 years later, 10 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later, while somebody's in headlines, why now? It doesn't justify any actions if you did some wild shit, but why now? Cassie cross examination to start tomorrow. Prosecutor Emily Johnson has now finished her questions. Cross examination was due to start today, but with just over half an hour of court time left, the judge says it makes sense to leave this until tomorrow. Okay. So that's the end, pretty much summarizing Cassie's second day on the stand testifying in this infamous Diddy trial. And you guys will have this clip released before we start getting into the cross examination, but I will stay with detailed updates like this. In the next clip, I promise you, I will be uploading now me breaking down and getting into the husband and Cassie specific.